The Leo and Danny Show.
So, what better way to start that with some sex stories? What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, Leo,
some sex work stories?
Leo and I were talking about some interesting, juicy stuff we could hop into before this broad shows up.
Jesus. Fucking coming, dude. I'm sorry, Dr. Kate, again. But, yeah, we need help, and thank God you're coming. But
The story I'm going to tell, you want to flip a coin to see who goes first? Rock,
Sure.
paper, scissors. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Leo goes
go
first,
first.
I suppose?
Yes.
Where were you working at the time?
I was working at, you guys have heard a lot of the Waterworld stories. They weren't nothing like really that great. They were just taking a lot of, I would just take girls home after the show, like that watched the show and did the meet and greet, and we'd bang. My favorite one, maybe the Brazilian mom I banged in the ass. That was pretty nice. Her daughter didn't come along, though, but her daughter was 19. It was nice. They were both kind of hitting on me after the show, and then she flew back to Brazil the next day. That was fun, but I'm going to go with an older story because I was more of a nobody. I was just working at Canon, and I was,
Canon, the camera company?
Canon, no, it's the same company, but the copier division. So I used to sell copiers business to business. That was one of my first jobs.
Was your boss Japanese?
It was kind of like a Canon. It was a dealership. So yes, the copiers came from Japan, but they were just sold here in, it was actually Santa Clarita.
Leo, did you have any contact with a real live Japanese person?
No.
Any of the higher-ups?
None of the higher-ups.
I'm sorry to digress really quickly.
Yeah.
I've been wondering, a company like Outback Steakhouse, how far up the management chain do you have to go until you hit your first Aussie?
Your first Aussie? Probably, I would say you probably never even encounter an Aussie. That's how the corporate ladder is. That's why it sucks. Like, that's why corporations, the service... You try to get something done with a corpse. You never get anything done. You call them, and you just get India.
Leo, when you worked at Canon,
yeah.
I want your supervisor to come out of the elevator wearing a full samurai suit of armor, and I want him to be clutching a katana.
And just that's how we test the copier. He just fucking hits the copier with a katana, and that's how nothing happens.
And that's how he motivates you to sell more of those motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, it was a good copier. To be honest, it's one of the only times I sold a product that I believed in was the Canon copier because it was great. It was a great copier. Anyway,
you hear that, kids? If you're in the market,
let's say we sold mainly to lawyers and accountants. Doctors were just assholes about. I never sold one to a doctor. I could never. Their personalities, they didn't wheel and deal. Like lawyers, I'd be like, listen. Your cost per copy is here. I can get it to here. And they'd be like, let's fucking do it. The lawyers were the best.
They were probably just looking for a flat surface to do coke off of.
Exactly. Dude, you're so right about the lawyers, man. They were party fucking animals.
I know. So let's talk about the sex.
The sex. All right. So this was it wasn't even sex, but it's one of my all-time favorite random hookups because it's up on the masturbation ladder. Because it was so interesting and weird at the same time.
You jerk off to it a lot.
I jerk off to it a lot, or have through the years. So there was they had an intern, a 19-year-old intern that they shouldn't have put around me because she started heavily hitting on me. I was about 25, 26 at the time. I was kind of a stud. I was not kind of a stud. I was a complete stud. I had short hair and stuff, and I didn't have a beard or anything. But I was a different kind of stud, more of a baseball douche kind of stud.
It's like putting your pet rabbit in with your pet boa constrictor in the same tank.
There you go. So then there was the receptionist girl who was 23 who also would hit on me, but she had a boyfriend. So it was just light flirtation. It was kind of like a fun, flirty kind of relationship. And then she became friends with the 19-year-old intern. One day we're at the office and it's like 4 p.m. I was never really at the office. It was kind of a job you did out in the field, but I had to do some paperwork. So I came to the office and it was just them two. So I was like, oh, isn't this great? Cool. So the 19-year-old starts kind of, she sits next to me and she starts grabbing my cock, basically.
That's unprofessional.
It was very unprofessional. There was no bosses, no it was just us three. I was hoping there were no cameras, but yeah, so she just started grabbing my cock, right? The girl, the receptionist, young lady, the receptionist, sees this and then says, well, you might as well, do something about it, or you might as well finish the job. And I'm like, thank you for suggesting that. That's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah. I was like, yeah, if you want to like have a little fun, I'm down to go in the back room. And she's like, no, you guys could just do it there. And I'm like, you're okay with her finishing me off right here while you basically watch and or see.
And you guys are on a sofa in a big conference room in the main
it's a desk
lobby?
It's a desk that you can see under the desk. So it was just like a normal, like a large desk with 2 drawers here, but then it was flat and there was no like covering on the front side, so she could just see directly through to my pants.
Continue.
And she was over there on like a it was a long kind of office, and she was kind of maybe like 10 feet away on her own desk facing to the left, and so she could just turn her head and see me at the desk and this girl. So this 19-year-old blew me in front of the receptionist girl, and she kind of had a little verbiage. She would she said a few things while it was happening to kind of help it along,
to encourage the 19-year-old to suck a better dick.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next day told me that she went home and fucked the shit out of her boyfriend. So yeah, that's up on it's very high up on the jack off meter from me.
I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
You put your career in jeopardy.
At Canon, I did it many, many times at Canon. And then look, I'd had the same behavior at Waterworld, and it didn't work out in my favor. But only when I got famous, because before that, nobody gave a fuck about me pulling my cock everywhere until I had a little name. And then people started caring.